Hello, hello. Morning voice. Anyone watching this recording, I apologize for the slow start. It is 10 in the morning here in Thailand. And it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I figured I would jump on just to connect with the YouTube verse and my subscribers. I am still in Thailand. I'm on an island. I'm in a little bungalow here that's very peaceful. It's been a while. As you guys know, I posted I had a little back injury. Thankfully, I can now sit up and work. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Juan. Juan, my excellent coach, is in the live chat here. So yeah, I don't have a real topic to talk about, but I'm pretty good at just sort of talking off the top of my head. I still love running the course, and I'm happy that I can do it from my computer. Students keep getting jobs. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Giselle. And I'm actually going to be posting more videos, which I'm pretty excited about. I connected my partner, Shane Hummus, who has a big YouTube channel, has always been a source of inspiration, and he kind of got me motivated. So I already have 2 more videos that are going to go live this week. Hi, guys. Oh, thanks for showing up. You guys can feel free to comment or ask questions, because I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head. As I said, it's 10 in the morning. I just kind of woke up, meditated, and I just want to reconnect with the groups. It's tough having been, I've had to rest the last couple months because of my back, so I can't really go out and see people, which is really difficult. So you really appreciate the problems people have had in the last couple of years if you can't be social. So this is my virtual socialization. And I also want to talk, I'll probably just rant about random stuff that's on my mind. Yesterday, I went down the other thing I've noticed, I've gone down these YouTube rabbit holes, and I never really thought that social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I never thought it was that big of a deal. But this year, at least 4 or 5 times, I found myself just addicted to the shorts, and it really screws up your brain and your neurons and everything. And so I'm in a creative mode where I'm writing, and I'm meditating and writing and putting stuff out there, but I have taken a fast of intaking. Think of you. The thing I'm realizing about YouTube and social media is just like I don't think humans were designed to take in this much information as we do every day. It's like when I was growing up, and I'm gonna go on an old man rant, from the 90s. I grew up in the 90s. Seriously, there was no internet. There were no cell phones. The idea that you'd have this little device that would hook you up to the world was absurd. And life was slower and honestly more chill. So I'm thinking of myself, oh, I got to check the stock market. I got to check the news. Why? I'm not working in those fields. My knowledge of these things doesn't affect anything. I'm watching all these random videos from all these random people, and you can, with the swiping and the scrolling, within 2 minutes, you're connecting with hundreds of different energies, and it's affecting your brainwaves. So after I spent some time scrolling, I'm oh, this is my only, I don't drink, I don't smoke, but the scrolling has an addictive quality, which is one of the reasons why I'm probably not going to do shorts when I do content. I might change that, but my stance right now is I don't really want to participate. Anyway, you guys feel free to ask questions to help me guide this rant, or otherwise I'm just going to talk about whatever's on my mind. How's the medical care in Thailand? Medical care in Thailand is fantastic. Although I don't really seek medical care. For you guys who want to know, I don't usually share. I decided to take kind of a risk, which it occurs like a risk for me to be kind of open and vulnerable, which is to say, or just open, which is to share that, I was playing tennis a few months ago and I overdid it. And people ask, like, how did this happen? I just overdid it so much. Like, I look back and like I was on this island. I'm on Koh Phangan, which is this crazy hippie spiritual party island. And everybody, first of all, you're riding a motorbike every single day, which I did for a year on these bumpy roads, which is knocking your back around. Then I was going to the gym 3 times a week, and I'm in the gym with all the guys that are like, you know, lifting the huge weights and doing Muay Thai, just a lot of like energy. And I'm like in that, and you saw I posted some videos, and it was great for a while. You know, I'm building up my back. You know, I corrected my back posture. I'm building muscle. I put on a lot of muscle, which was exciting to reach that goal. But I was also playing tennis, and tennis is a really sport that's really hard on your body if you don't have the right mechanics. And I'm in my 40s. Yes. I know, this is crazy. So every one of you guys watching, if you're in your 20s, someday you'll be in your 40s. And I was living like I was in my 20s. So I'm playing tennis and I'm playing like a 20-year-old. I'm sprinting after every ball. I'm smashing, I'm running, I'm doing all this stuff for week after week after week. I'm saying to myself, I should only play for 1 hour, but then I play for 2 hours. I should only play 2 times a week, then I play 3. So I'm overdoing it there. I'm overdoing it at the gym. You know, when I started out training with the weights, my goal really was just to get fit for functionality. Like, I want to just be able to be active and not be out of breath and be like, you know, energetic. But I started, you know, we were doing more weights. And I started to get these little signals from my body, which were saying, slow down, take a rest. And I didn't listen. In fact, 2 weeks before I got really injured, I felt a pain in my back. And I just was like, oh, it's a sore muscle, ice bath, you know, do some stretching, acupuncture, forget about it, move on. Well, then the weekend where this happened, I played tennis 2 days in a row. And then the end of the second day, I just went, oh, and it just like was like somebody stabbed me in the lower back. And again, I went to the ice bath. I figured it was no big deal. And then it was just hurting. My leg was hurting. And then, you know, I didn't go to the doctor until I had been in pain for over a month. And the doctor can't really do anything for this. You know, they're all they know to do, doctors, is surgery or drugs. And I don't do either of those. Surgery for this type of thing is like last resort. I'm not going to get that. But with the hospital, what I did find out is that what's great about Thailand is they have good hospitals here, great doctors. I went in, I got an MRI. It took very quickly. It was a few, you know, I don't know how much it is in the US. It was a few $100s. And I got a freaking image of my back and I could see the disc pushing into my spinal cord. And then I was like, oh my God. So this was helpful because I could see what the issue was. And then I do a lot of, I end up doing a lot of alternative stuff for my back. You know, there's something called ALA, alpha lipoic acid, which has been proven to really help with nerves. And there's certain other things that I'll talk about in another live stream. But generally speaking, medical care here is great. There's a lot of medical tourism. It's affordable. Even if you're paying out of pocket, you know, a hospital stay in the US, I'm not going to even talk about how expensive it is in the US. If you end up in the hospital in Thailand, you're talking about a couple $100s a day. It's like a hotel room. You're not going to go into like this kind of like life-shattering debt for procedures or things in Thailand. And they're good doctors, you know. And in fact, I saw an orthopedic surgeon. I met an orthopedic surgeon who's saying they actually study longer in Thailand than in the US to become surgeons over here. Juan, did you ever end up making a course on how to make a course? So I'm not gonna show these. Did I ever make up a course? Did I ever end up making a course on how to make a course? I did it, and I immediately took it off the market because there were a couple of reasons. Number one, I did it from a place of wanting to make money. It's hard to explain, and it's something intangible. When I made this course on digital marketing, believe it or not, I did not think it would be very successful or profitable. I just had this vision of helping people get jobs the way I had done it. And I had really modest expectations, and I had this real heart-based energy to create this course, which I think is why it's been so successful. When I made the course creation course, it was more of like a calculation and an opportunity. I said, well, yeah, there's people looking for this, so I'll do it. And when I made it, I just, like, my heart wasn't in it. And then when I launched it, this is the other thing that kind of bummed me out. People were saying, oh, hey, it was weird that they were so honest. Hey, Seth, I want to make a course on digital marketing just like yours. Will you show me? And I thought, how insane, like, it's so disrespectful and rude. Hi, I want to rip off your course. Teach me to do that. I said, and then the other folks who were looking for guidance were more in the business. And I just, I was just so tired of business. So like, I wanted to help, and maybe I'll still do this someday. Like, I want to help a musician. Like, I wanted to show someone who's passionate about the violin, how they can make a violin course, or someone who's an artist. This is what initially excited me about the internet. I was like, being able to monetize things that are passionate. And I love that I teach people digital marketing, but that's what inspired me, was the be able to monetize creativity more so. And then I just I lost interest, because then also the other thing is that this is the thing, the real reason with the courses. Making a successful course is much harder than getting a digital marketing job. Okay, you're in the world of launching a business. So with the digital marketing course, I was 100%, like 99.9% to 100% confidence that if you follow everything in the course the way I say it, and you're patient and persistent and understand it could take you 2 weeks, it could take you 2 months, it could take you 6 months, you will get a job. This will happen. I have so much confidence in that. But if you take a course creation course, I can't guarantee anything. Nobody can. Even the best course creators and marketers launch stuff that fails. Now, if I reorient myself and people understand that coming in, then that could be okay. But I really am focused on getting people results. And there's so many factors involved in having a course be successful, what niche you choose. And it is a different world than it was a few years ago. But the main thing for me is I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. And then I started to say, like, what would it cost for me to put my energy, my time to support people in this? It's too much money. It's not worth it to me to put. I'm kind of almost putting a little bit of my energy into someone else's course, and they paid me a few hundred. It's not the value proposition isn't there for me. How can I find someone to help me practice PPC to understand? Ibrahim, are you in the course? We talk about this. Indico says he was let go by a digital marketing agency for not having a degree. I want to hear more about that. That sounds insane to me. First of all, if that happened, that agency is stupid. So the first thing you need to understand, guys, and I talk about this all the time. The trend is that companies are eliminating degree requirements. That's the trend. It's not happening as fast as it should. It should be overnight. They should just be gone. But you've seen agencies. I posted on Instagram, like one of the big agencies my students get hired at put out a big memo. Degree requirements are gone. So if you had an agency that said you don't have, I don't know why they would do that. It sounds like terrible management if somebody let you go. I would actually first, I have to ask you, like, really detailed, was that really why they fired you? And what cause? I don't think it's even legal to do that, without cause. I mean, if it's at will employment, so technically you can quit, they can fire you, but it sounds discriminatory to me. But regardless, this is now a mindset issue on your part, and I'm sorry to hear that happen. There are thousands of agencies and companies that would hire you and do not care, and it's the loss of that company. Okay. Yeah. This type of question he says, what to do? I'm facing a lot of issues along with my studies. I can't answer that, man. It's too general. You gotta be specific. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see here. Saul says, hope all is well. I have an interview with the VP tomorrow. Nice. Good luck, Saul. Congrats, man. You've come a long way. I remember Saul when he was just starting in the course, and he just hustled, just kept at it. And he got a job. Now he's, leveling up. Wolverine, I don't know your real name, but you have a job interview on Thursday. That's awesome. And thank you. Let's see here. That sounds, so Vindico is saying he was 19, he got $50K a year. They didn't know. It sounds like ageism, man. I mean, if I would just move forward, honestly. But it's saying you're saying that they didn't know you didn't have a degree. They didn't know you were 19. That's interesting. Again, I've had plenty of students get hired when they're 19, 18, 20, 21. It's more about how you present yourself. And if they hired you, if they fired you because of your age, that's ageism, man. I mean, you can sue them. You can't fire someone because of their age. You can't. Usually this is older people who are, there was a really funny Office episode about this where Michael Scott, the new guy, the new VP is Ryan, the temp, and he wants to upgrade all the computer systems, and Michael doesn't want to learn the new computer, so he says it's ageism. But it's true. You can't fire people because of their age. Usually older, you definitely can't fire someone because they're too young. So I wouldn't bother with it, but I mean, people get sued for things like that, companies. Really, it comes down to your performance. And did you do anything at the company that was like disruptive? Probably not. But the point is, guys, to get that at 19 is really great accomplishment. You should be proud of that and move forward. Just move forward. James, my 16-year-old student in Australia, he had a great, exciting journey. Like, he got a job when he was 16, and then he got a different job, and then that job turned out to not work out. So then he was just freelancing, and then he was kind of just looking for. So he had a period of time where he was struggling. Then he ended up, now he's in a fantastic job. And his attitude, something happened. I'm not going to get into detail because he didn't want to share all this, but like something happened with the employer that I was upset about. He had a very mature mindset. Say, if your employer messes with you, or if they do something, or if you get fired, or like, or whatever, the best thing you can do is move on. It's like a breakup. It's not going to help you by being focused on what happened in the past. This goes for anyone in any field ever. Move forward. There are so many opportunities, guys. You want to focus on what you want and what's in your future, not what's in your past. Bought the course in 2022. I'm doing both SEO on the side for PPC marketing for an affiliate agency. Awesome, man. That's what you do. David Morris. Oh, okay, David. Yeah. Keep at it. Hi, Esau. Yeah, guys, feel free to keep commenting. So now I've reached the point. So this is interesting. I've been sitting here I've been sitting down before this, so it's about 30 minutes when I start to feel a little bit of discomfort, which is so much better than it was with the back. God, I couldn't sit for more than 5 minutes, man. I mean, it was rough because I was trying to answer emails and I was like laying on my stomach. How can you join my class? Before you join, I would check out my webinar and remember, that's the webinar. So let's see, what else can I talk about? What else do you guys want me to talk about? Otherwise, I'm just going to go on. But yeah, I went into I went in the rabbit hole of YouTube, man. Here's what's really interesting about what fields in digital marketing have the most job opportunities? That's paid search, PPC, and SEO. Paid search, Google Ads, has been the bread and butter of this course and my students for 8 years. People don't know that these jobs exist. And you know what's funny too is that I've seen a lot of stuff. I was actually going to do I don't know if I'm going to do a video about this, but I wanted to talk about Iman Gadzhi. There's this new generation of millionaire guru guys. He's an SMMA guy, and I was going to do a video about SMMA, a social media marketing agency. And what happens is these guys hype up this idea that Facebook ads, it's a great skill set, and there's a lot of jobs with Facebook, Instagram ads, and soon TikTok and all these things. But the SMMA model is like they go, hey, it's so easy to get clients. You're going to make $10,000 a month. Just call a business and get them signed up, and they're going to get 20 clients. Suddenly you're making 10K. It's super easy, and they hype this up. like it's easy. It's not. It takes a lot of work. But what's funny is I've seen so many of these SMMA, social media, Facebook ads, and that is a $1 billion market. But I don't usually see the same type of hyped up influencers with their Lamborghinis around Google ads. And meanwhile, Google is bigger than Facebook. Google search is bigger than Facebook. The big 200, I don't know what is it, $200 billion a year in ads. And it's just, I don't think it's as sexy. And it's, most people also with Google ads, they don't understand that people do click the ads. A lot of people. But that's, and again, people are intimidated by the platform. Like I talk about in the webinar, if you try to log into Google ads yourself, it's so complicated. And then Google's like, it's so easy to make money with Google ads. And then it's confusing. That's why companies have to hire people to manage them. Let's see. I'm nervous about screwing up on my first job. Any advice? That is a great question. I'll do a video about that. It's totally normal to be nervous about screwing up. What you need to understand is that is normal to have that apprehension. There's a couple things to understand about getting a PPC job. First of all, they wouldn't hire you if they didn't believe in you. Because remember, I don't teach you. I had a student once who ripped off my course, and he was teaching people to basically BS their way into jobs and be like, yeah, I managed, all this, millions of dollars. It's like, you're not coming into these jobs with my strategy saying, oh, I know how to manage $1 million a month or something. You're coming in demonstrating you have the basic competencies and some limited experience, and they know they're going to have to support you to grow you into this role. And any good agency is going to have support. There's always support. It could be super direct, hands-on, everyday support. It could be a couple times a week, but you should have a supervisor, somebody that's watching you, a senior person. And that's like any kind of apprenticeship. And when I had my first job, I was managing $100,000 a month, and my boss sat right next to me. And his biggest lesson to me was to relax, because even though Google Ads moves quickly, you're not going to get results instantly. And when you have this chill mindset, you understand sometimes you're going to lose money, sometimes you're going to make money, you might make a mistake, but again, there's somebody should be checking out what you're doing. It's more of a mindset thing to understand. Also, marketing is not an exact science. People make mistakes. Remember, the good thing about Google Ads is that unless you accidentally set a client's budget to like $2 million and they, it's hard to make a huge mistake when you're starting out. Thanks for all the questions, guys. I need to walk around a minute. This is the back thing. I'm gonna be right back. All right. This is an interesting challenge. Injuries really are a good opportunity to grow and have patience. Hey, Seth, I am getting interviews. Woohoo! Congratulations, man. I love to hear that. And anyone just joining, I feel much, much better. But the disc is I think it's probably 70% healed. Okay. Can you do a video? Okay, so, all right, I had a question about the international job market. Here's the reason I haven't done so many, guys. I mean, just 90% of my students are from the US. So whenever I make a video about a specific country that's not in the US, it's just getting fewer views, and it's just kind of a business decision. Sometimes I'll do one video about, it would maybe Europe, Australia. Those are the big other job markets. So thank you for that. I will keep that in mind. But if somebody, those are the, again, it's the size of a country's economy is going to be like proportional to the number of jobs available. AA says, it seems, I think this is definitely from somebody, I know you're not in the course, but it's okay. He says it's impossible to get a job on LinkedIn because within a few hours, there are over 100 applicants. Go to my YouTube channel, watch the walkthrough videos. I explain to you why this is not a problem. First of all, if within a few hours you're seeing hundreds of applicants, those are not good applicants. There are bots, people have automated services, people are bulk applying, people are just clicking easy apply, people are applying to these jobs that don't have the skill sets. There's so many unqualified people applying to these jobs. And when you come in and you put care into the application, you've customized it, and you actually have the skills, that's how my students get interviews, even when there's a lot of applicants. Jonathan says, I'm going to buy the course, but I had to save the money I made for a car, which is fine, but I wish I could start on the course, but I found a job so I can get the money. All right, man. That's great. Congratulations. I always tell people, you know, if they want to get the course, just you can save up, you can get a job, and that patience will pay off, because again, this is not a get rich quick kind of a thing. I'm planning on making a video on client facing. Oh, this is from my coach. That'd be great, Juan. I hadn't thought of that. You know, so much of, I find what happens, you know, like in my job, I got training, my first job, which was years ago, I got training on how to deal with clients from my boss. But I think a video like that would be awesome. And you say it's a big part of the job for senior positions. And again, I'm working with the people in the entry level role, but I think that would be a great video, Juan. How could I help this community out directly? So, I appreciate that. I mean, do you want to give advice? Are you a former student? You can message me, you know, send me an email and ask me what you want to do. Really, the Facebook community is the most active, and that's where you could contribute the most. Where am I living? I live in Koh Samui in Thailand at the moment. I was watching one-year-old video. Okay, so he asked about the job market going down since last year. Okay, it's like the stock market, although the stock market is at the all-time highs at the moment. I'll give you the context, okay, of the job market and why it's still way higher. It is like the stock market, because the stock market used to be in the 20,000. The Dow was 20,000, now it's 40,000. It's kind of insane. But from 2017 until about 2019, pre the thing that happened in 2020, there were typically 20 to 30,000 open jobs in digital marketing in the US on LinkedIn every day. And so you see testimonials from a while ago, people were getting jobs left and right when there were only 20, 30,000 jobs a day. By 2019, it was peaking at 50. It hit 50,000 jobs a day. And I was like, wow, 50,000. Then something happened in 2020, dropped to 20,000 a day again, which was still about what it was. That continued. And then you remember 2021, 2022, 2023, suddenly everything's back. Everything's up, you know, after things have been down. The job market went up to like, I think 200,000 a day jobs. Since 2022, economy slowing, interest rates were put up, and I could do a whole other video about economics, which honestly I only learned about in the last few years. But the interest rates went up, which means it's harder to borrow money, which means businesses are slowing down, which means that, you know, even though they said, oh, the economy's slowing down, still the unemployment rate is quite low, and there's still a ton of open jobs in a lot of different fields. There were tech layoffs, but I try to tell people that's not digital marketing. Digital marketing is advertising. Those tech jobs were programming. It's not the same thing. But basically, if you look at things a year ago, they were way, way up. And now they're at a more normal level that's still 3 times as big as it was in 2017, 18, 19, 20. Whatever it is, guys, my advice is don't look at those numbers. I use them to kind of illustrate the scope of the opportunity, but you're not going to be applying for 100,000 jobs or 30,000 jobs. You're going to apply for maybe 100. Maybe my MJ hired, he only applied for like 10 or 15 jobs. Focus on your goal. Don't focus on the big world stuff. Focus on, you don't need there to be this many open. Even if there was 10,000 open jobs, you guys would still find jobs. And again, don't focus on the number of applicants. There are a number of hiring managers that say those applications aren't good applicants. I mean, that's pretty much what I was saying. How do I get remote? Are you in the course? You take the course and follow the instructions. This thing is, people say, oh, can you give me a tip on how to get a job? I said, well, learn the skills, get experience, and apply. I mean, but it's kind of like saying, hey, I want to drive a Formula F1 car. Can you give me a tip? Like, there's a lot to it. Hey, I want to perform brain surgery. Can you give me a tip? No, you have to go to school. Like, it's not as complicated as those things, but it's like, that's why my course is 40 hours of videos. Like, there's a lot to learn to do it right. Thank you for the well riches. What about remote sales? I don't know. That's not my thing. You can do, I was going to do a video about course careers, which is kind of Troy who runs it. We're kind of frenemies, I'd say, because he's a great guy and I support his vision. He has a vision of like colleges going out of business and, education being practical and affordable like I do. He has a great tech sales course that has proven results, and he has got a great IT course. He also now has a digital marketing course. That is why we are competitors. He has a digital marketing course that has no testimonials. But if you want tech sales, go to Course Careers. Someone just had an interview where the screen froze and disconnected. Oh, first of all, congrats on the interview. And I'm sorry to hear that. Things happen. I have a friend. She is a agency owner, 6 figures. She's only, I think when we met, she was like 25 or 26, like super driven, smart person. And she was hired by a client to do a webinar. And on the day of the webinar, this is like a big deal at this company, big client paying her a lot of money. She's doing the webinar and there is a power outage right at the start of the webinar, 2 minutes in, knocks out her power, her internet, ruins it. So these things happen is what I was trying to say. Things happen, things get messed up. Email, perfect. Just wait, just be patient. If the screen froze, maybe they had a power outage or something. Maybe they had some issue. Just wait a day or two. And if you don't hear from them in a couple of days, follow up. But the important thing is when these things happen is don't take it so personally or say, oh no, it's like focus on what was positive about it. Thank you. The digital marketing walkthrough videos are gold. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Sawadee krap. Sawadee krap. I recommend Perry Marshall's. Well, Perry Marshall's book. The only problem is it's out. It's not completely outdated, but it's a book, right? So what happens is he made a book about Google Ads that I still think is a good book to understand the strategy and the deeper aspects of Google Ads. But it's a bit outdated because, he made it, 2 years ago. Now the interface, like all these things have changed. There's all these different features. But the fundamentals are still very good. Yeah. Again, about the disconnection, man, I know it's tough, but stay neutral. You don't know, you never know. A lot of things in business and in life occur like they're bad. This guy could call you back and apologize to you and say, I'm sorry about what happened with the internet. Can you transfer to a U.S. territory like Guam, Puerto Rico, and do digital marketing? I don't know. I don't know about that. Your employment is based on your citizenship and work authorization. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you can get a job with a U.S. company and then go wherever you want, as long as it's remote. Seth, I just got my second role, first agency role. I want to say thanks for all the help. You are welcome. Please send me an email. Let me know more about it. Does your course go into how to make your own digital marketing agency, tools to make efficient day-to-day access across multiple clients? No, 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 respectfully. And I appreciate that question. Totally different course, totally different course. My course is the Digital Marketing Career Blueprint. It is about getting a job and getting clients. But here's something else about digital marketing agency to understand is that I tell the students of mine who have started agencies started with one client and then 2 clients and then 3 clients. And in my opinion, that's the best way to start. It's kind of like someone, you see all these, you know, I used to love to watch Kitchen Nightmares because you'd see these failing restaurants and the people were so over their head and didn't know what to do. And a lot of them are like, well, did you ever own a restaurant before or work in a restaurant? No. Let's say the people that do really well in business learn the business before they try to scale. So with the digital marketing, what I see happening a lot, and I was going to talk about this with the whole Iman Gadzhi thing and the social media marketing agency problem, is that again, there's a lot of hype in like Samantha, my friend, who maybe I'll interview her at some point, who's again 25 or 26, 6-figure agency owner. She works her so hard to have that success. It was not easy to start an agency. It takes so much work, and you have to have a deep understanding of the work that's being done. So the thing I was saying is that like Iman Gadzhi teaches his students to outsource everything. And it makes sense on paper, right? It's like, yeah, okay. And you can even do that. You know, you can hire an SEO agency to be what they call a white label agency and take care of your SEO. So if you're a sales guy and you're an organizational guy and you have like a big vision of things, you could do that. But if you don't know the work, then you can have a lot of problems. And that's what I was thinking, is like, hiring freelancers is not easy. That's why it's still a good thing to be a freelancer. If you're a good freelancer, you'll get clients. So you can try to go on Fiverr, on Upwork, hire people. It's a job in and of itself. You know, I'm going to be hiring somebody for some YouTube related stuff. It's like, I'm going to hire somebody to hire for me because the process of vetting people and finding somebody that's good. Now, if you start a digital agency with this big vision of, oh, I'm going to get 100 clients or whatever, and I'm going to hire people to manage the clients, now you're dependent on those analysts. And if you don't know if they're good or not, you may be providing really bad service for these customers. So this is what happens. You know, if you don't know the business, then yeah, I think it's like walk before you run. Hey, Nick. I'm from South America, and there are not many PPC jobs with USA or Europe, and you're getting interviews. Well, that's great, man. That's great. I always assume there are jobs in those countries, but I always disclaim that because the salaries are obviously going to be different, varies from country to country. Do you see AI getting advanced to the point it takes over digital marketing jobs? I literally just made a video about AI that you should check out, and the answer I think is no. No, it's not gonna take over completely. Digital marketing, as I explained, is that it's a sophisticated job. So like, I don't know, there's this AI in the medical field that's really good at answering questions. Like if you have a question about this symptom or that symptom, then the AI apparently is like really good at answering. It's so good at, you know, predicting information, analyzing large data sets that it could be like, you probably have this illness. But I wouldn't like have an AI, you know, robot do surgery. And I still use the example of an airplane. I mean, the autopilot is incredibly sophisticated. You know, I think maybe 90% of the time in the air, the autopilot's doing most of the work, but you still need that human there. But as far as like AI with Google PPC, I've done videos, I'll just repeat it. Most of these jobs are with Google ads. That's what people don't realize. Digital marketing is so misunderstood. Google ads. You're logging into Google's proprietary ecosystem, their interface, their $1 billion interface. And that's where the job is. And Google is constantly adding automation features to their platform. They've been doing it for years. And they're trying to take control from the advertisers and take it over themselves by saying things like, yeah, AI, we're using AI, we're using automation, just click a button and you're going to, you know, make money with your ads. and it's not true. It's like walking into Caesar's palace with a bunch of money, and there's an AI gambling liaison, and he's like, "Don't worry, I will gamble for you. I am from the casino. Just trust me with your money. You will make money." And of course, would you trust the casino with your money? No. You can't trust Google with your money either. That's why these jobs exist. So the fundamental job, one of the big jobs, is based on this conflict of interest between Google, where Google says they're the good guys, and we all know that's not exactly true, and that they want to make, and it's like, I'm sure, like, yeah, they want to make, they'd love it if their customers make money, but they get paid either way if someone clicks on an ad. So what happens is that a new customer comes on, they go, "Oh, I'm just going to click all the automated stuff." And then their campaign launches and it stinks. And then the small business owner, that's why they hire someone like myself or my students to fix it. So Google is going to be trying to automate. And then there's actually even more of a need for human beings to step in and say, no, your interest is not aligned with my client's interests. We have to protect the client from this automation. Now, the automation is good once a campaign is performing and they have enough data. But then that automation, again, it's like you don't just let the campaign run forever. That's another thing some companies, like, you don't just say, "Oh, well, we're making a lot of money this month. Thanks, Google. Let's just not look at it again and let the robots do the work." No, you need a person managing it. Same thing with SEO. As I talked about in this video, content creation is a big part of it, but it's not everything. And we saw it happen with ChatGPT. Everybody went crazy. They created all these AI websites, AI content-based websites. Google got more sophisticated, knocked a lot of those sites down. I knew a dude. I went to an event, and there was a dude who's big in SEO explaining how AI is revolutionizing SEO, how it's so great, and you could create all these websites. He said, "I got all these websites ranking for all these, making me all this money because I just used AI-generated articles. I can put up 200 articles so fast." And then it was funny because he did this whole presentation. At the very end, he goes, "Oh, and of course, for our clients, we don't use AI content. We wouldn't, it's too risky." And then I said, "Well, what? You just did a whole presentation about how AI generated content is like the future. And then you said you don't do it for your clients." Like, yeah, because, there could be an algorithm update from Google and it could just destroy our clients' websites. And that's what happened to a lot of people. So he was smart not to use it with his clients. But what I was saying is that I think AI is going to be part of, it's a tool that will help with productivity. And it could get very, very sophisticated. And it could be in a position where it's able to do and assist in ways we haven't thought of yet. But I don't see a situation where you just press a button and the jobs are just gone. Hope that was helpful. What is work-life balance like when working in a digital marketing agency? Honestly, I would watch the interviews I've done with my students, and you find it's usually very, very good. There are a small percentage of agencies I find where I think they overload people with too many accounts, which I think is actually okay in the beginning of your career. It's good it's kind of like, going through the trial by fire. But most agencies, this is the reason why the work-life balance is good. You have an industry that is growing with a lack of talent. Again, the colleges don't teach digital. They're terrible. These students in college are learning concepts from the 1980s. So there's a shortage of skilled workers, meaning you have hiring and retaining a skilled worker is more valuable to a company. So they want to keep you happy. They don't want you to burn out. That's why if you go to the websites of these agencies, they talk about paid time off, bringing your pet to work, remote work, barbecues, all the cultural aspects. So yeah, it's usually a good work-life balance. And I've had so many students you can see who've come from like healthcare or finance or other fields, and they're so much happier. I am, just to let you know, guys, I want to keep doing it. It's really fun. I wish I could lay down, but my back's starting to. A buddy that works with Google, and he said tech jobs. Yeah, Nick, I'm going to put this up because this is Nick, my coach, who is the master marketer. I have a buddy that works at Google, and he said that tech jobs like software engineers and tech companies go first, and marketers are safe because they're backbone of revenue. It's true. Google makes all its money from advertising. Advertising jobs, I think, are typically safe because companies have to advertise. This course is a college course, Wolverine says. I don't know what you're referring to. My high school won't let me talk with rising senior grads anymore. Preaching your message made the staff nervous. That's so crazy, man. Put that up here. I've seen this with rising. What do you mean rising? But I think with senior grads or people who are coming through high school, this is one of the reasons I do get passionate about this. And I think it's really sad. And the culture and the environment that's happening in the world where people don't want to hear a message. They want to suppress it. And it's nowhere is that more clear in high schools where there's an indoctrination happening. And it starts when you're in kindergarten, college. And then instead of having a logical conversation about the ROI or the practicality of investing in a 4-year degree, it becomes an emotional conversation. People get religious about it. People, if you were talking about investing in a stock, it's illegal for the stock, owners or the company to stop. You can't talk about the potential downsides of this stock. You can't talk about the potential downsides of the investment, but people will try to cancel you if you say that, hey, college isn't a good investment and here's why. Perfectionism. If you're struggling with perfectionism, I would say, first of all, get on YouTube and just Google how to deal with perfectionism. There's a lot of good videos on it. I can't go into it fully right now. Perfectionism is actually a misnomer because it's really, I think I wrote this in a comment to somebody. People like Elon Musk is a perfectionist because you see he's relentlessly focused on his goal and he's always going to be changing things and he's never happy with it. But the perfectionism that you're talking about and that I've dealt with too is more of a paralysis and overthinking, and you're never even giving yourself a chance to do it imperfectly. So you're kind of stuck in your head. And then, the first thing is read the book, The War of Art. It's really good at helping you get clear on what is keeping you from just taking action. And the message of that book is you just got to do it, man. There's no complicated answer to it. You have a mental or emotional resistance to taking some action because of a fear of an outcome, fear of failure, fear of looking bad. And you can do emotional work and dig into that and try to see when did that start. Sometimes, all of us, it started usually when we're kids or when we're in school, but that can take time. And at the end of the day, I think that the successful people in life, people who learn to deal with their just push through fears and emotions. I was thinking about if you read stories or listen to successful people on podcasts, you discover these people are not perfect. They have fears. This is a bit of a dated example, but Johnny Carson, who was for years was the most famous person in America. He was a talk show host, smoked like crazy. And it was funny because before he went on the show, every night he'd be smoking and nervous. And I've read about other actors who were some people would throw up before a performance. Every night they would throw up before they went on stage. They were so nervous. So I think the problem with the perfectionism that you think, oh, well, I shouldn't feel afraid. I shouldn't feel this. So it's normal. It's normal. And you need to understand it's a process. You need to make the mistakes, man. It took me a year of mistakes before I got my first digital marketing job. It's part of the process. Something that's messed up right now is, especially with social media, you see people at the end of their journey. You don't see how they got there. You don't see all the mistakes they made. You have to remind yourself you're not supposed to be there immediately. Yeah, Juan applied to 50 jobs when he got his opportunity. You're going to get rejected. You have to accept that. The same thing with jobs or dating or anything. If you understand that's part of the process, then it's fun. Baseball players, this is an old example, but I love it. And if you're not a baseball fan, you want to hit the ball, right? And get a base hit or a home run. The best baseball players on the planet are only successful 30% of the time. 30%. 3 out of 10 times. That is a successful $1 million. I think Shohei Ohtani, right? 30%. Let me see. Hold on a second, guys. Now I asked for questions. Now I have so many questions, and I'm let's see. Hey Seth, I took your course and got a job in direct marketing, not digital. This guy says he got his foot in the door when there were over 800 applicants, and you're welcome. But yeah, man, don't look at it as an opportunity to be that white shining knight to the hiring manager. I'm telling you, I've looked at bad resumes, and if somebody is looking at 1,000 bad resumes and yours shows up, you are like a breath of fresh air to that person. Oh, Iman Gadzhi stuff. Yeah, he shut down his agency. I think I've dabbled with the idea of making some videos, like kind of calling out. I said I don't want to get into any kind of YouTube drama, but I don't like is the misleading. I actually went into Iman Gadzhi's webinar, and what I found some discrepancies and some like exaggerations, and what I just didn't like about it was that again, at the end of the day, if you want to start a social media marketing agency, you're going to have to become a salesperson. You are a salesman. You will have to get on the phone. You have to email, but mostly get on the phone and convince people to sign up with your agency. Or I mean, you can hire people to do that, but then you need the capital to invest in salespeople. And for most people watching, who sign up for these programs, they don't quite understand what's involved. And again, you're too focused on the hype of what's. I'm not a big fan myself. It's just not my style of like showing off. I like to show off where I'm visiting, but I don't like showing off. These guys are showing off cars and houses. I've done a couple of videos if I stayed at a nice place, but what I think is really funny about wealth is that, like, when I got my first 6-figure job, I worked at a place where everyone drove a nice car, and I was driving my Honda Accord, 2001 Accord. It was 2014. And my boss actually said, so you're thinking about getting a better car? Because everyone's got a Lexus or an Audi or something. And I actually leased a Lexus for a year. And I got a great deal on the lease. I used a lease broker. And it was amazing and fun to drive this car. But what's funny is a couple of years later, when I started to even do a little better, I had a Chevy Volt. And I felt so excited about my Chevy. I got a credit from California. I was driving on electric, and it was so cheap. And then I thought about the guy I worked with at my first accounting job, who was super, super wealthy. This guy invested in Apple stock in the 80s, and he did have a Rolex. But what was funny to me is he drove the crappiest car I'd ever seen. It was like a 1985 Ford Taurus or something. And it was 20 years old. This thing was a piece of garbage. And I discovered that was the people who are showing off their money. It's usually an insecure thing, I think, or it's going to attract. It's just not the vibe I like to attract. Like, that was the funny thing. When I started on digital marketing in 2010, I was doing all that. I didn't have anything to show, but if I made sales, I was like, oh, this is my sales. And then over time, I was more like, I like the low key people a little bit better. Do I train Muay Thai? No, man. No, maybe someday, but it's not my style. It's great though. Muay Thai is a great workout and people love it. But especially now with the back thing, I was like, nah. Also, I don't, I would say if you're going to train in any of these martial arts or mixed martial arts, like, I think what my friend was telling me in Muay Thai, it's like they spar lightly. Like, at a certain point, I don't want to get punched in the face and I don't want to get kicked in the legs. The thing about Muay Thai, you're kicking in the legs. I couldn't deal with any of that. Do I think it's important to know display, PMAX, video search, applying a job? No, search is the main thing. Search. Display is helpful, but again, it's not the majority of their business. I don't know who this dude's trolling me. Sancho, I don't know what you're referring to. Props to your book on college. It was a good read. Pass it on to my future kids. Thank you, man. That's why I wrote it. Yeah, I mean, I've had to, this has been my big like dilemma with YouTube and everything, is that I want to focus on solutions. And one of the things about college I've realized over time is that it's not a lot, just like most conversations today are not, they're not debates or discussions. They're not an exchange of ideas happening. You have people on one side believing one thing and another side believing another. And I do like it when someone's able to kind of break through. With college, it's a very religious quality to the conversation. So I've talked to parents, I've given them the facts, statistics. And the problem with college is that most parents, I don't have kids yet, but I'm like, now I have friends that have kids, or my sister has kids. And I'm like, you love these kids so much that you become really stupid. And parents have been conditioned to believe that college equals safety for their kids and security. And it's this deep feeling of belief. And it's so deep that if you challenge that belief, then you'll just get pushed back. So I've literally, met parents who are about to, or kids have their parents pressuring them to take out all these loans, and they won't look at the statistics. They won't look at the job market. They won't look at the debt reality, the monthly payments. They just have a belief, and you can't argue with that. Dude. Yo, Sancho, man, your vibe is funky. I don't know what to do with you. I keep you on your comments are not really appropriate, and they're going to make other people uncomfortable. You're being a little bit playful, but let me see. This is interesting. I've never had somebody making kind of obnoxious comments on my feed, which I think is, let's see. On the topic of wealth flaunting, one of my clients needed help with their meta ads, and her computer was 10 years old. And she pointed the camera at it because she doesn't know how to screen share. That's funny. Please block this dude. Yeah. Yeah, Sancho. I don't want to block people. And the other thing is, if we were just talking and we were goofing around, and this is the thing about social interactions that people understand. I joke around with my friends. We rib each other. I still love that. And I love dark humor, and I love uncomfortable humor, and I love non-PC humor. But if I don't know somebody, or if I'm in a public situation, I'm not going to, you don't know all the people in the live chat. You don't know me. And if you come in with an insult or even a joke that you think is funny, it's not going to land right. You're kind of not reading the room. And at the same time, I don't like this culture of I don't like what you said, so I'm never going to talk to you again. So, yeah, man, I think just be professional in the live chat. Yeah, it's fine, Sancho. I'm not going to block you, but be respectful in the live chat, because it's a community, this thing. I could go on about the whole other topic about this, because it's tough. Working with groups is tough, but I see this tone deafness, or not reading the room. I struggle with that too, because I want to make videos about topics that might be offensive to some people or might be controversial. And I've really been dealing with how do I not on this channel, I'm going to have to make another channel. Anyway. So, and that's the other thing with you, man, is that if you irritated enough of my subscribers, I can't let you stay for the community. Call it. Let's see here. Make me a mod. I'll clean this mess up. Oh, moderator. Yeah. Wow. We have a community in the Facebook group. That is true. Well, here's the thing. This is YouTube, right? And I'm not a huge influencer. It's kind of funny because I've never dealt with this. In the Facebook community, we never have any type of issues. Everybody's awesome. And I've had maybe 1 or 2 issues from time to time, but it's very, very rare. If I must leave for the greater good, Sancho, I reported you. Yeah. I'm going to kind of step back from this little mini drama here, guys, because again, I'm not quick to want to ban people from things because I think that leads to more divisiveness, especially online because there's really very little context. But I also don't want someone making everyone else uncomfortable. But I think people should be given an opportunity to rectify their behavior as well in the group. Sometimes people just aren't self-aware. So we will see. But anyway, it was a YouTube live, so I can't control what was said. This is really interesting, guys, because again, we do live in this time where people hear things they don't want to hear, and then they immediately just like kill that person off. And it's a tough way. It's a tough culture right now. But I appreciate you guys who spoke up and shared what your opinions and your responses, so yeah. The cool thing about the Facebook group is I do find the community is very, very kind of self-sustaining and people can self-regulate and things like that. I don't like being like the parent figure that has to correct somebody or scold somebody. And thanks for sticking with the live stream, guys. Let's see here. Let me go back and find the I could put the user in timeout, but I don't think he's going to comment again. It's weird because sometimes I'm a bit of a softie and sometimes I'm really harsh. Like I kind of try to feel the vibe of a person. I get this with emails too. Like I answer some people very directly and some people I'm a little more patient. Let's see here. We have a great community in the Facebook group. I'll just put that up there. Absolutely. It is something I'm so happy with and I never expected. I had a forum and then a student created the Facebook group and it was just run by students for a year or so. And then I took over and it's just the best people in a very, very positive, supportive environment. And people also can be real about struggles that are happening and get support. I think it's really great. I saw your poll from yesterday when it comes to relationships. What advice would you give for leaving the friend zone? I really want to answer your question, man. But the poll indicated to me, and I think this makes sense, is that most of my viewers aren't really interested in relationship advice. Maybe I'll see if I can give a little bit of advice. But I know that this channel is known more for like the career finance stuff and mindset. But I could talk so much about that because I was a friend zoned dude in my younger days quite a bit. Let me kind of think about that and see if I want to answer. I don't want to lose the group here. I want to kind of stick with the. You guys can let me know if you guys want an answer to that question. You can comment. But that's what I realized. Like the poll was like 1% of the people were interested in that, and that's all good. It's like I made this channel about careers, so I understand that. With any of this stuff, I would say just me personally, I guess I will say this. I'm very selective about who I'm friends with now. It could just be because I'm older and I don't have too many female friends. I do have a number of female friends, but to have a friendship with a female now, especially since I have a serious girlfriend, it has to be a real connection. Like I have a friend who lives in Bulgaria and we've been friends for 5 years. She's just so cool. And we have such a cool mental, intellectual connection. She's married. I was never interested in her romantically. That's really the big divider to me is that if you have a romantic interest in someone and they don't reciprocate, I think you should be done. there's this Indian comic, I forgot his name, and he does crowd work. He's hilarious. And he sees all these people at the club. Okay, so I am going on about this. He goes to the club and he talks, hey, you guys, how long you been together? How long you been? And there's always these people, oh, we're just friends. And he's like, dude, there's an inauthenticity because obviously the dude likes the woman and she's not reciprocating. And it's so common. And my advice is usually, if you have a desire for more and she's not reciprocating, move on, because it's not really fair or balanced situation, because you're always going to be hiding something or suppressing something. And for me, I when I was dating, like last year, I had a connection with this woman who's, I'm living in Thailand. My dating options were a bit limited. So I was looking at people in Europe, and I had this connection with this woman in the UK. And then it was like, she wasn't interested. And I said, this isn't really realistic. She said, I want to stay friends. I said, no, there's no point to be friends. But I'm looking for a serious girlfriend. I need 100% of my focus on that. I can't have a friend in my life that was kind of this as far as them, then I know the other question is, how does it move forward? Like, you want them to like you. I mean, there's a lot of videos on YouTube from like kind of guys about that. I haven't really dealt with that in a long time. I haven't been in a situation where I liked a girl and she didn't like me back since I was in my 20s. And that happened to me all the time. There is a book called there's a thing called like, he's just not that into you. And I think you could say the same thing for guys. Like, I think it's tough when you get really fixated on somebody. Hope that's helpful in some way. You can feel free to email me if you have any more questions. And I like talking about that more. What can I tell a business owner who tells me they don't need a website because they have a Facebook page? What are the benefits of a website versus a Facebook page? That's a great question. Let me think about that. But first of all, they're really limiting themselves in terms of their traffic. What if a customer doesn't have Facebook? I know it's not that likely. The control you have over a Facebook page is less than you have on a website. Do they have lead gen set up on the Facebook page? Also, as far as real estate on Google, they're just like, it's like leaving money on the table. It's like you have your Facebook page. When people Google you and they see a Facebook page, first of all, it doesn't inspire very much confidence in the business. They need to have a Google My Business. And now they're giving up the first 3 spots. They could own the first 2 or 3 or 4 spots of Google with site links, but they just say, oh, I don't care about that. And again, there's a lot more customization they can do, and a lot more traffic. They can get a lot more traffic and a lot more customers. So it's like, well, do you want more customers to your website? Okay. Plus, you can't run. I mean, I don't know how you run. Do they run Google ads? Like, I don't actually know. I can't remember off the top of my head if you're allowed to run Google ads to Facebook, but it's weird. It's weird to see a Google ad that goes to a Facebook page, I think. You should make a Discord. We had a Discord for the group. Maybe I would make one for like just general YouTube, because I know I have more of an audience there. But we did a Discord in the Facebook group and it didn't take off. I actually put a lot of effort into it. I had all these different levels, and I was going to what I was going to do is sell very low cost monthly memberships to paid levels where you'd have more access to like me and the coaches. But there was just very little interest. They unveiled a lot of innovations on Google Ads. I did not watch that, but I'm sure I will hear about it. Oh, for the second channel. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I think the second channel, I wanted to focus on, I'm very passionate. I am passionate. I'm really passionate now about relationships, because last year I met my dream woman. And I went from being very cynical and resigned about dating, like a lot of guys in the West are, to finding just the most wonderful woman. And I did a lot of work on myself to get to that point. So I saw this pathway. I was like, this is how you get here. This is how you bring someone like this into your life. And I wanted to share that along with other insights. But my problem is, I was like, I want to find this balance where I'm like, I am not really a full red pill guy, but like there's a tone I want to have that I'm trying to figure out. because I want to people. The one thing I think about relationships that's so funny on the internet is that, like, when it comes to making money, you got guys, so many people like Iman Godzi, where it's like, here's my Lamborghini, here's my house, and they're focused on the goal of what you're going to do when you have money. And you see the outcome, and people get really excited about, I want this, I want that. With relationships, I don't see people with the goal. I don't see people showing, I have this great loving partner. It's been so awesome. I love having someone I can talk to every day. I love this feeling. I love this experience. All the videos are like strategies, tricks, techniques, dealing with problems. It's all problem-based. So I want to make a channel that's more focused. First of all, let's get you focused on your vision of this relationship. Because right now, if you look for relationship advice on YouTube, it's a war zone. I literally found this happen 4 times. I'm with my perfect woman. We both have the same worldviews. We both like watching YouTube kind of non-PC stuff. That's all I'll say. But I watched some of these videos for like 30 minutes, and then I'm feeling bad about myself and my relationship. And it's like, this is insane. Just because I've been listening to so much negativity. So anyway, I went on. Obviously, I'm passionate about this because I'm talking about relationships when people are asking me about digital marketing. I like your take. It's healthy and displays boundaries. If you make a YouTube channel on relationships, I'll be there. Oh, thanks, Catherine. I'm trying to find Akash Singh. I think you're right. I love this guy. I love these edgy guys, man. And that's the thing where I was like, I see these 2 extremes in like everything. Like everything's polarized, right? You've got left wing, right wing. You've got red pill, black pill, and then the blue pill over here. I'm like, I want to find this, not exactly middle ground, because I think the edginess is what I enjoy. It's what, even my rants against college, I'm going to bring that into the thing. Relationships over revenue. I like that. A Discord focused on those staffing off jobs and have access to asking more direct questions throughout the day could be cool. So Catherine, so the Discord thing, the thing was this. The thing with the Discord, we have an advanced program for people who are, the starting off jobs. I'm just going to put this up here. So there is an advanced program in our course with Nick and Ivy for people who've gotten a job. And the reason is this course, the promise is you will get a job. And so once you've gotten the job, the job it's done. And most people just want to come back to share and contribute. And that your company usually is the one that does the training. But if you want additional support, Nick has a monthly advanced program, and so does Ivy. And in that, they're giving you personal support while you work this job. And the reason we did it as a paid thing is like literally, people are coming in with financial issues. Now you've got a job. So you should be able to obviously pay the coaches. And again, the coaches are charging so much less than what their hourly rate is worth, Eric, I didn't see the question you asked. Just got an offer for a PPC job. Any tips regarding negotiation? That's kind of general, First of all, are you in my course? If it's your first job, I would say, again, remember the first job is not your last job. It is to leverage to the next job. So I wouldn't get too hung up on the negotiations, but I need to know more detail. Like, do you think they're not paying you enough? Do you want to, if you have another job offer, it's easy to leverage up, but you can always ask for more money. That's just something people don't tell you. You can always ask for more money. There's nothing against it. People get, what if I ask for more money? Then they know that you're a person that's going to want more money. And then if they say, well, we can't go up to meet you here, maybe we'll meet you here. But remember, in terms of negotiating on a first job, again, just what do they call it? There's like books written about negotiation. Remember, the goal of the first job is to leverage to the next job. So I say, if your first job doesn't pay as much as you want, if it's a huge amount, like if we're going to pay you $30,000 and you live in California, that's like, we had an agency like that, that people get hired at, they'd pay very little. And I'd say, listen, this is a jumping board. Work here for 3 months and leverage up immediately. It's too little money. But remember, that's the point of that first job. So it could be okay to take less money, or you can ask for more money. Someone just, Stephen, or Sam, and my name is Seth, by the way, not Stephen. Sam, I just made a video about AI and I just talked about it. You can watch the replay of the live stream and watch my latest video about AI. Are Bing ads low-hanging fruits? That's a good question. In some industries, yes. Bing has like 10% of the search market. The thing is, Bing, you have to look at their search demographics. They, now they're getting more users because of ChatGPT and OpenAI. But typically the people that use Bing are the people that are a little older, especially because Bing is pre-installed on all the PCs. So you need to know, so for a lot of people, it's like, hey, your demographic's over 40 or 50. That could be ideal. You have to look at the revenue or the demographics. Oh, wow. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm going to try to get through these. Shafir. Yeah, I love talking about relationships. You need to make streams more often. Thanks, dude. I enjoy this. I'm even able to sit with my leg kind of irritated. The platinum pill. I like that. I was thinking of like what kind of pill. I was going to call it golden pill, but platinum's better. Okay, the additional resources in the video. Well, they're additional. I think every student has their own rhythm. It's additional, so it's not required. But what I basically say is like when you go through the course the first time, maybe don't look at those. Maybe look at them your second time through. You're going to have much more context. They're going to make a lot more sense. You're in your second job. Generally, with when you're already in a job and you're going for your second job, I think be audacious in asking for what you want, and because you're a free agent, you can always get another job. You're not stuck with that offer. I'm about to generate my experience. Should I start on my PPC spreadsheet or trading my website? I always, look at the mind map again, Neil. I like the spreadsheet because it's a paper assignment. You can do it anytime, just on your PC, hanging out. The website is the next step. I definitely buy a course about financial literacy. I don't know if I make a course on it. My thoughts on money are, I would if I was teaching people about money, that would be a very different course, because your mind is a huge part of it. Basic financial literacy, I'm not sure what you mean, like just understanding like debt and liabilities and credit cards and things. I did want to make a video about investing because I got started so late. You guys that are young, what I was going to teach people is like, it's the boring lesson that someone told me years ago, and that my wealthy relative, who I was thinking, I said, like, do you have any tips on making, investing? They're all going to tell you the same thing, which is put your money in the S&P 500 and wait, and that is so boring and it seems so normal. But if I was smart enough to have done that when I started to make money, I'd have a lot more money now. But I either didn't learn about it or was looking for more complicated solutions. And the other thing, I didn't understand the mindset. That's the thing I talk about, mindset. The shift that needs to happen with all you guys that are under, I'm doing it now at 46, which is to say I'm putting money into stuff knowing I'm not going to touch it for 20 years. Not all my money, but some of it. But my dad, I look at him as an example. He worked a very low paying job when we were younger, when I was a kid, and leveled up, went to law school and made a little bit more, and was socking away a little bit each week into the 401k, into the stock market. And it grows over time. Time is your ally. You guys who are 18, 19, 20, I was going to do a video explaining, because I can't stand those misleading college makes you more money videos, because they're based on just total nonsense statistics. But I will talk about how skipping college can make you $1 million. And here's how. And it's basically saving money when you're young and putting it into an investment like the stock market or real estate, something that's going to grow over time, and give yourself those decades of growth. That's powerful. But the irony of life is that, of course, when you're young, you don't look ahead or have the patience to see how important that will be. And that's where people get messed up in investing, because they get impatient and they get into this short-term gratification thing. And then that's how you lose money. I want to quit a visual. Someone wants to know, you want to quit a video editing job for a YouTube channel. If you quit, he doesn't have an editor to replace you and his channel will die. What should I do? Again, this is, well, I think the kind of tough love answer is like, it's not your channel, right? So what, are you working for free? Okay, you have a job. So why doesn't he hire someone else? There's thousands of video editors out there. I don't see where that would be an issue. You know, you could, something I've done with jobs is, you know, maybe negotiate a part-time thing where you still have time for the course, but you're not obligated, you know, to this. You can't, well, you're going to put your own dreams on hold so that you can hold other options. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I would have an adult conversation with him about this. The channel is not going to die. I don't understand why you think that. There's like literally go on Fiverr. There's so many editors available. But anyway, I commend you for wanting to, you know, make a change. Oh, relationship advice. Yeah. I'm in Texas. I have no excuse to learn your course and get out of driving a truck. Yeah, man, I feel for you. I know that must be tough physical work. I hope you get a digital marketing job, much easier on your back and your mind and your body. Seth, you know any back-end development? No, not my thing. In fact, my girlfriend is a coder. She does mostly JavaScript front end, but sometimes she has to do back-end stuff. And I make jokes about the phrasing, but I don't think I would find it interesting. How fast can you go full remote in digital marketing? You know, again, you get a remote job like the students you've seen on my YouTube channel. Some of these jobs are remote right out of the gate. Does getting a GED over a high school diploma affect getting into digital marketing? I'm going to just put this up there. So like, no. Nobody cares, guys. Nobody cares. Even if you hear of a situation where a degree is involved in a job, it is a exception to the rule. Say 1 out of 10 employers, this could be a deal. Education goes at the bottom of your resume. And I don't care if you went to Yale or Harvard. It's at the bottom. It's not relevant unless, again, you're going to be a doctor. You're not. Digital marketing, most of my most successful students, Jonathan, go on my channel, look at the interviews, look at the kids like Keyshawn, who these kids went right from high school into digital marketing. Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about the high school. Because like, I seriously, no one ever asked me if I graduated from high school or not. A dating course for digital nomads. You know, that is an interesting idea, because before I met my girlfriend, I was in some communities. And what I discovered was like, yeah, there was a real lack of, well, I thought there was a lack of good guidance. I saw, yeah, that would be a good idea. I wish I would have shorted. Dude, Benjamin, I just want to tell you guys, don't ever short anything. You are this is the most dangerous thing. And hindsight is 2020. First of all, don't think about what you could have done. Because everybody would have put everything into Bitcoin, right? At a certain time. But I was in Bitcoin when it crashed back in 2017, 18. Everyone would have put, when the market was down in 2020, put all your stock in MGM, the casinos. You could always think that way. But shorting, I'm just saying this for everyone else, guys, is so dangerous. Shorting is where you bet against a stock. And it means you're thinking the stock is going to go down. Obviously, you can see on paper how that makes sense if it works. The problem is the people who do shorts are these hedge fund guys. They're so smart. That's why GameStop was so exciting, because everyone was just out to screw the Wall Street guys. They were shorting GameStop. I don't know all the details of this. Basically, they were saying GameStop's going to go down. The whole world and the internet said we're going to make it go up, and those guys lost billions. How did they lose so much? The problem with the short guys, I'm just going to go off on this because I learned about this stuff and I don't do it. If you put all your money in a stock and you buy it and it's at $100 and it drops to zero, that's terrible, but you lost all your money. If you short a stock and it goes, let's say you put it in at 100 and you think it's going to go to zero, but instead it goes up to $300. Not only did you lose your money, you now owe money. You owe money. The higher it goes, the more money you lose. So I know a dude who shorted the market in 2016 because of politics, ruined his life. You not only do you lose your money, now you owe money. So I didn't realize I was so passionate about this, but I just want to caution people, because if you don't understand it, definitely don't do shorts. You will, again, you could end up, it could even be a modest, it could be a modest short. Like you could short like 100 shares of something. If the thing blows up, now you're going to owe thousands of dollars. You don't know how much you could lose. So anyway, that's my sermon about shorting. And yeah, Elon is a character. Having the search ad certification is more important than a marketing degree. Absolutely. Yeah, don't short. If you are a U.S. citizen, live in Thailand, if you wanted to, would you be able to get a job? U.S.-based company? Yeah, honestly, that's the only thing I am allowed to do. As a U.S. citizen, you can work for U.S. companies. If you're a UK citizen, you can get hired by a UK company. I can't work for a Thai company without a work permit. I think 3 to 5 mentioned a degree, but it was never. Yeah, I'm just going to put this up here. I've had 5 different company interviews, going for my second job. 3 to 5. And when you say mentioned a degree, I think you mean in the job posting. But guys, I'm telling you, once the college degree requirement is this weird cultural leftover from the 70s, when college was a different thing. It was more exclusive. It was more of an indication of an accomplishment. And it's a habit. So these human resource morons, they just throw it up on the posting. And if you talk to the actual hiring managers, they're not going to care. They're not going to care. I'm 18 and is digital marketing worth it for the long run? Yes. I think it's one of the best things you can invest in when you're 18 is getting marketable skills. You just have to ask yourself this. Do you think the internet is going to grow over time? Will people use the internet less or more in the future? If you think they're going to use it less, then maybe digital marketing isn't for you. But that's just not a fact, I think. The internet grows, digital marketing grows. I mean, culturally, we think it's a bit troubling. People spend too much time on the internet. But the reason that digital marketing is continuing to grow is because the internet I got to attend my first ever Biz Summit. I've worked remotely 100%, but just last week I finally got to meet my teammates at my current job. That's awesome, man. It's fun. Ripple. Yeah, those are fun when you actually get to meet people in real life. Yeah, the stock advice, Catherine, like I said, I stay out of it. I think the what I've learned to be true, I made this mistake. This is a mistake I made. I try to time the market. And like right now, for instance, personally, again, I'm not a financial advisor. It's like, it seems high to me, but it seemed high to me 2,000 points ago, So what I was saying to the younger people is that the idea is you get your money in there and let it ride for those 20 to 30, 40 years. For over 40 years, everything's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, but it will eventually go up, 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 up. That is the sort of the general thinking. Myself, I'm more of a cowardly investor. I don't like to take big risks myself, but I think, again, it's the years. Like I have fewer years than you guys to have this stuff grow. If you're 18, you have 50 years of life to let your investment grow. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Well, it's like, wow, hour and a half sitting. So that's good to know. I can do that physically. This is helpful because of travel. I wanted to see if I could manage to sit. Yeah, college degrees are archaic. It's not even. It's not even archaic. It's right now. Is that I've had the luxury, and you guys, I'd say if you have the inspiration to move overseas, there's a lot of benefits. My cost of living here in Thailand is so much less. So I haven't really had to deal with inflation on too many things. But with inflation and with housing costs, plus this college tuition, I think this is proof to me that this is not a logical investment, the degree. It's an emotional one because it would respond to the market. I think it's quadruple. Since 1982, I was just watching Micro. Inflation has made prices double, but college tuition is quadruple, and it's not got a good ROI. So people are willing to pay $70,000 a year to go to college because it's an emotional investment. That's all I'm saying. As far as recession in trucking, that's interesting, David. One of the things is, again, I'm like I said, I'm not really the first guy to give financial advice, but then I realized like a lot of these guys who are experts, they don't know. Nobody knows exactly. But what I've heard was when interest rates go up, it takes 18 months for the economic impact to really hit. And it could be the case. But what I try to tell people with digital marketing is that even if there's a recession, even these jobs are going to still be needed. Companies still have to advertise even when things are slow. And the other thing is, again, remember, if there's a recession, then there's going to be growth afterwards. There's never it's done. Like, everything's, I had that problem with my mindset in 2020 because I was caught up in the emotions of that. Like, oh, everything's done. Nothing, everything's gone downhill. Once inflation, if I don't know if these interest rates are going to actually help or not. I wish they would. I think that there's just a lot of greedy people overcharging for stuff. But if the interest rates come down even a little bit, when they do, which I think the market is getting ahead of itself. I think it's going to be next year. Once the interest rates start to come down, then you can speed up again. But it's a slow, process. But remember, when things go down, they come back up. Don't get caught up with the pessimist. I was caught up with the pessimist for a while. This guy Peter Schiff, who I actually like some of the stuff he says about college, but he's like been on gold for like 20 years. And they were saying, it's like if you put money in gold like 10 years ago versus the stock market, I mean, you wouldn't have made very much money. But the thing I don't like about him is that he's this guy who's every year he's like, everything's crashing, everything's going to go to crap, all this stuff. He's made these predictions for like years, and he was right like 2 times. So, yeah. So anyway, I try not to get too into the weeds of it. Like I said, I'm looking for stuff I can put in and forget about it because I want to focus on my life. That's another thing this injury made me focus on is my day-to-day life, and that money is even when you're in a business, I think we all get a little bit too focused on, well, not everybody, but I got too focused on money. I could do a whole thing about that. Yeah, it's fear-mongering. And honestly, the thing I don't like is like there's some people I like who I like what they say about other stuff, but then they're like, when someone pivots to sell you something is when you have to be careful. Like, oh yeah, this is terrible, so buy my thing. Yeah. Schiff has a funny video making fun of college degrees that I like, but yeah. Thank you for always be there. You're welcome. Was it complicated to get up and moving into digital nomad life as a U.S. citizen? I have a video, Catherine, on my channel, how to be a digital nomad. But to be honest, I don't, I've been running the course for 8 years now. So I've really, somebody asked me about this. The course is my main thing. So I don't have to deal with clients. But for if you do have a day job, being in Asia is tough. If you have a U.S. company. I had a friend, she lived in Vietnam. Her company is based in California, and they made a special exception for her where she could work at like 11 a.m. her time. But Asia is a tough one because it's 12-hour difference. If you live in Europe, it's not that bad. What constitutes true wealth to you beyond the materialistic world? What constitutes true strength? I love that. Honestly, this is something I'd talk about more. I could talk about more maybe on the other channel. I'm a spiritual guy. I actually flew a healer friend of mine in from the US to help me with my back, because it wasn't just my back. I think physical issues are really just physical. There's usually an emotional, spiritual component. That is my personal belief. And true strength is definitely internal. You really see that. Like when I was really in pain, I was like, you don't care about money or anything. You just want your health, and you want your soul, your spirit to be strong. That's real strength, I think, is connecting to something that is bigger than yourself inside of you. But I'm not going to get into anything too spiritual here. I've had direct experience, metaphysical experiences, and I don't subscribe to any like dogma per se. But I do think there's a challenge though spiritually of what they call a house. They call it a housekeeper, a householder. And the thing is, like, there are people now I see in our culture who have like checked out, especially a lot of young men. They check out. This is the equivalent of like going up to a mountain and meditating and thinking you're going to find enlightenment. And the reality is, the way you get enlightened, the way you open your heart, the way you grow, is getting engaged in life. And part of that is making money. And I focused on that. I still focus on it because I think it's difficult to truly enjoy life if you are constantly worried about money, or if you're in a job you hate. In fact, I was thinking of my family. My dad changed careers, which was great when he was 40, but he got into a job, and for a couple of years he really didn't like his job, and it was very difficult, I think, for my parents. And so I think the money is not the end game. The money is not but if you you need the money to pay your rent and to support your kids, why not do it in a field that's going to be fulfilling in some way, so you have a good foundation? Yeah, Eric. Yeah, man. I'm glad you can see that the cost of college is insane. And yes, I did Vipassana in 2005. It was incredibly difficult. And honestly, I haven't done it since, not only because I don't know if I still have the discipline, but also because of this course. I would have to take 10 days and just completely unplug. But I do recommend it. I was actually going to recommend it in a video, because Vipassana is free. A lot of people, that's important. Something that's free. You pay with your attention. You go for 10 days, you meditate 10 hours a day. They feed you, they give you a place to sleep, and it will rock you in your mind. It's crazy. Are these companies that allow people to move overseas being kept at a W-2? I heard it could be against labor laws to have an employee overseas. No, I mean, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. You can live overseas, but you usually will have a U.S. address. I will sell them. Bring on the recession. I'm gonna go. Oh, cool, man. Well, tell us how it is. I think it's one of the most challenging. Honestly, what I would do is I would challenge any of these leaders, all of the people look up to in the world, the big successful, CEOs, to do Vipassana. I don't think they could do it, man. I don't think the extreme action sport guys, or the MMA fighters, or the millionaires could sit silently for 10 hours a day and not talk for 10 days and not be on the cell phone. It is truly the most challenging thing you can do, I think. Do you now enjoy your beer with ice, Chang beer? I would if I drank beer, but I don't. Yeah, man, you can freelance. There's always going to be opportunities in freelancing. There's so many clients. There's so many businesses. It's not I go on Fiverr and hire people from time to time, and I'll still see. I noticed something really funny. I was looking for SEO content writer. And first of all, there's still out, if you want to be an SEO content writer, there's a lot, you can get paid well. But one of the tools that is really important is Surfer SEO for on-page optimization. And I Googled this as I want a content writer who uses Surfer SEO. And I didn't see a single US native English speaking freelancer. And I was like, well, that seems like an interesting little opportunity. The great thing about freelancing, guys, is that quality sells. So there are going to be people that are like, oh, I just want the cheapest. You don't want them as a client. There's always going to be, I think, opportunities who are delivering quality work. Getting back into digital marketing after a 2-year break, I don't know what you mean exactly, but just pick up where you left off, man. I mean, nobody's, if you're talking about a job, nobody's going to penalize you because there's a gap in your resume. They want to know what you can do now. It's all about what can you do for the company. You can't, okay, this is a good question. You can use a VPN for certain things. So if you're going to get hired by a company in the USA, you have to fill out a W-2 form, which includes disclosing your social security number. If you lie on those documents, that's breaking the law. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Yeah, Jason, man, just pick up where you left off, and you can put your freelancing now, or put that you freelanced when you were off, but just make sure you just let them know what your skills are. Also, I would go to an agency, go to Cybercoders, Creative Circle, recruiters. A recruiter is great because they'll be your liaison. They'll explain, hey, we've got this great candidate. He was out of the industry for a bit because he had a family issue. That's all it is. And if you're in the interview and they say, why do you have this job gap? And you say, I was taking care of a family member. Who's not going to understand that? What is a fair asking price for having a client? Jerry, if you're in the course, I think you gave me a super thing. Let me go back. I missed that. Look at the freelance section in the course. It varies depending on the services you're offering. Where is this? Jerry, thank you. I appreciate it. You're welcome. I totally missed that. Sorry about that. Let's see here at the bottom. Hold on, I'm missing. Fair asking price for a client. Again, go to the freelancing section in the course, but it depends on what services you're offering. Is it monthly? Are you doing a specific SEO service, a specific PPC service? Most PPC, it's like a monthly rate of could be a few hundred, a few $1,000s, usually correlated to the amount of ad spend. Have you ever done tech detoxes? Honestly, man, I wish I had. I have done I've toyed with it. Because of the nature of my business, I do tend to be on the computer quite a bit. But for me, it's like I'll stay off of Instagram, or I'll stay off of YouTube. When I was in the other island last year, I ended up going days and days without looking at the computer, and it's wonderful. SEO is a great tactic for 2024. Yes, SEO is still relevant. It's more important than ever. It's always changing. And that's why it's so important, is you have to update. I hired an SEO firm honestly, I don't do that much SEO on my brand site. I'm mostly YouTube. But I did a bunch of stuff a couple of years ago, and it's really paid off for a year. Now I'm looking at my website rankings, and I'm like, okay, I need to re-up and do some new strategies here. You always need to be current with what's happening. Oh, hey man, Matthew, I love your questions. I'm I'm going to wrap up now or in a minute, because I mean, I thought I was only going to do 30 minutes and I've been sitting here and I can feel like, oh boy, my back actually feels okay, but I need to take a rest. Matthew, thanks for the questions about the sort of non-digital marketing stuff. I will maybe I'll answer them in my next live stream or another video. But David, how often do you need to update this course? It's a great question. I'm gonna do a video about that. The course is updated regularly, and here's how that works. Here's how I don't go crazy, right? Because it's 48 hours of video. Every week, it seems, Google and Facebook and everything changes the appearance of their platforms. They add a little thing here. They move this. There's a new feature. So for the foundational videos, if I was redoing those videos every week, I couldn't do it. It's a lot of videos. With the foundational strategic videos, I update those as needed. For the platform videos, like for instance, the Google Ads videos, I updated them this year. I'm going to have to update them again soon because they're going to be the interface change is going to become permanent. Ivy just updated the SEO section with a bunch of videos and addressing the new update. But there's also coaching calls twice a week, so you get to real-time ask coaches. There's the Facebook group. And remember, this is a strategy for an entry-level job. So the reason the course works and why it's different is I'm not out here pumping 200 hours of theoretical information. I'm giving you just what you need to get. The goal is always to impress the hiring manager. So I'm going to get you just enough experience and knowledge that you get hired. And you get hired with like this much experience. And then in your first year, now you have this much experience. So we want to make this as most efficient as possible, is what I'm saying. So I don't, the strategy is the most important thing. And then I also teach people how to stay up to date. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you about this algorithm update or the history of Google search algorithms update. You need to be the type of person that's proactively watching this. So like, let's say Monday is a Google algorithm update and Tuesday you have a job interview. You're not relying on me to update the video instantly. You are already on the blogs, looking at the update, and in the interview, you're talking about that stuff in real time. And yeah, Coursera, I don't know. I said their courses are pretty thin. My advice, David, is just do what's in the course. Remember, what I teach in the course that I'm saying is you don't need to know everything. 3, you're welcome. My pleasure, guys. I enjoy doing this. Though I should probably limit it to an hour next time. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. And Eric, any advice to maintain healthy? That's too general. When you guys ask questions, also the more specific you can be, the better. But this is cool. I'll look over these comments, see if there's anything I can address in the future. You guys can always email me if you have like course related questions, seth@digitalcareerblueprint.com. Yeah. Thanks, Neil. Yeah, I'm doing some physical therapy. And yeah, maybe I'll talk more about all that stuff in the future. Because apparently I like to talk. So YouTube is a good place to be. Anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll do another one of these soon, and everybody have a good night if you're in the US and a good day if you are not.